Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
This is a message from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Got a question about your VA benefits, healthcare, or eligibility? Go to va.gov, where you can access a new interactive chatbot to ask questions 24/7. One can still browse va.gov for information, but you can now ask specific questions to the chatbot, like what's the PACT Act? How do I apply for disability benefits? What's my claim status? You can access the new feature through va.gov's Contact Us page. Then click on the Start Chat button. The chatbot will continue to improve veterans' access to information about the benefits and services they've earned. This is one way VA is offering seamless and secure access to its online resources.
All right. Welcome back. MisFitNation. We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their story to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with MisFitNation. If you're a musician or actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share some of your tips with the MisFitNation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you're a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and share how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you're a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and just share your story with the MisFitNation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or are embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, welcome to the MisFitNation. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast apps and also on our YouTube channel at @_MisFitNation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date with our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show. All right. Welcome to the MisFitNation and our Tuesday after dinner show. As you know, we're still following the trends that are the news that's happening out of Israel, the Gaza Strip, and along the border with Lebanon, with Hezbollah and Hamas launching attacks into Israel, and Israel now fighting back. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be a love story. So just keep the thoughts and prayers with those, whatever side you're on. We know what side we're on here with MisFitNation, and our thoughts and prayers are with Israel in this situation.
tonight we have a good one. We've waited a long time to get him on here. We've had some miscommunications between the two of us, but we got it tonight. He's an educator and best-selling author who has trained countless investors from all walks of life on how to create passive income streams of their own. As a fund manager, he manages a mortgage note investment fund and is considered an industry veteran within the note investing arena. He teaches the concept that individual investors are able to step into the shoes of the lender through note investing and effectively be the bank. So without further ado, let's welcome Fred Moskowitz to the MisFitNation.
Hi, Rich. Hello. Hello.
Fred. Fred, can you hear us?
Yes.
There
Yes.
we go. You got us, Fred?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was glitching back and forth.
Is my audio good?
Your audio is perfect. Thanks. Thanks
Wonderful.
for being here tonight, Fred.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I'm excited to get into the conversation tonight.
Awesome. Fred, I give basically a paragraph about you there. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit more about you from as far back as you want to go and how you got into the world of investments and writing, of course, being a fund manager and everything you're doing now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'll tell you, Rich, it's been a long and exciting journey for me. Going way back, I started out in life. I had a very successful career working as a computer engineer. And I spent many years working at different technology and startup companies. And this was all during basically the birth of the internet. It was exciting times back then. And what happened was after I watched my entire industry get flipped on its side from the bursting of the dot-com bubble, and then that was immediately followed by the September 11th terrorist attacks. And so there was all this turmoil in the world, and it sent our economy into a tailspin. And in particular, the tech industry got hit really hard. And Rich, what happened was I came to the realization that I was way too dependent on the income from my job, because my only source of income was my paycheck, and that was it. I loved my job. I loved the work I was doing. However, it was just full of all of these circumstances, completely out of my control. And what I learned, Rich, was that no matter how talented of an engineer I was, or how valuable of an employee I was, if things were not going well at the company or in the industry, I could quickly lose my job through no fault of my own, right?
Right.
And so with that, I turned to investing, and specifically, I became very interested in a method of investing called alternative investments, where you buy and build assets that you acquire, you own them, you can increase the value of them, and they generate income for you. And so this starts to create secondary income streams, which is exactly my goal. And I started out with rental real estate, which is a very common foray into this area. A lot of people get started owning some rental properties. It's a great way to go. After a few years, I started learning about mortgage note investing, where you could buy loans, you could buy a mortgage note that exists and then own it. And what happens is you become a secured lender. Your investment is backed by real estate. So it's backed by an asset with tangible value. And you become the one receiving the monthly payments instead of the one making the monthly payments. And so that's a big shift. But that's really what note investing is all about. And so there's, in the world of alternative investments, there's many types of assets, all kinds. And I always teach about this and speak about this. Find what's right for you and start building that up. Assets that you own and control. And while you own them, you're getting paid while you wait. And that's a beautiful thing.
Definitely. It's always good to have passion for something and then also make money off of it just while you sit back and watch it grow or watch the money come in, like you do with the mortgage note investing. You just hope that you know that you have the backing with the real estate property. And then you also have the person, if they're responsible, paying their bill every month. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
And with those, is there like a place when you start, you have to start an LLC, I'm sure, in order to actually start investing in notes, or is it just individual sole proprietorship, and you just find a book or a website that has all these notes that are available to buy?
Yeah, that's a great question. So definitely it's recommended to have an entity to own the notes. But there's some different ways to get involved in note investing for someone that's starting out. You can go and start acquiring notes and building a portfolio that way. And the other way to do it is you can invest in a note fund. And what a note fund is, it's a professionally managed fund where the fund managers raise capital, they pool all that money together, and then they go out to the secondary market and buy notes and manage them. And so everything is professionally managed with servicing companies, and we can get more into that. But what happens is this becomes totally passive for the investors. The investors have their outlay of capital, and in return for that, they're receiving monthly income streams. And the beauty of this arrangement is that for the investors, they get to leverage the experience of the fund manager, the experience, the expertise, the relationships they have, the skills and knowledge and abilities, and the access to notes. And so it's really a great arrangement for someone that maybe doesn't have time because they're a busy professional, they're busy as a business owner. It's a great way to go. Now, on the other hand, someone else that has more time available and wants to get hands-on in the business and roll your sleeves up, then yeah, be an active note investor and learn how to do that. And there's no right or wrong answer. It comes down to each individual's perspectives and requirements and the time you have available.
When you, I'm assuming now, when you invest in notes, you have to have the backing of, say, a small business loan or a bank to mediate for you in order to say yes, that person can buy it, or have the cash capital, right?
You have to have the capital for sure in cash. All these transactions are done in cash, and as far as that guidance and advice, there are different vendors we work with. You have attorneys in each state where the loans are that will provide you guidance. Also, the loan servicers who are tasked with managing the note, doing the day-to-day management, they play a crucial role. Think of a loan servicing company is the same way that a property manager manages a rental property on behalf of the owner. A loan servicing company, they manage the loan on behalf of the lender. And so that's crucial. And they handle a lot of the day-to-day stuff, keeping track of the accounting, the amortization schedule. They track all the payments from the borrower, and they send out those tax forms at the end of the year that says, here's how much you paid in interest this year. So there's a lot of those activities that have to happen in a timely fashion. And so they help you a lot with the compliance there.
Awesome. That's a good bit of information right there. As I know, for me, I asked that question mostly selfishly, but also for the audience as well. I just wanted to make sure I'm thinking on the right path.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Absolutely.
Because I'm definitely not in that realm. I work on basically, it would be the polar opposite realm of investing. I work in the Department of Defense, so it's a totally different world. And
Yeah.
mine's not in investing at all times, but I like to learn as I go, and I think it's good for everyone to continue learning. And this is something I think at any age, it's good to learn something like this that can help you have a more comfortable older age.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's something that really can give you a solid financial foundation for your future, for yourself and for your family. It's so important. But I love what you said about the learning, the self-learning, the education. It's crucial for all of us. I like to consider myself, I'm a lifelong learner, always. And that's never going to stop.
Definitely, and I think that's the thing everyone needs to understand. Even if you're just listening, or either listening to a book, reading a book, keep
Yeah.
your mind going, keep your mind working, and that'll help you as you get older. When you start to forget where you put your keys 2 seconds ago, you'll understand that you learned a lot of lessons along the way where those keys might be and might be able to help you. So, how long have you actually just been doing the note investing or alternative investments as like a full time thing for you?
Yeah, note investing, I started in 2010, so it's been about 13 years now. So, yeah, quite a while.
That's a pretty good ride right there, yeah.
Yeah.
And, and
But
you
I
started.
love the business. It's really wonderful, and it it changes a lot over time, like anything else. And all businesses do. They go through cycles and regulations change and just different market forces at work. And
I'm sure
so
every time there's a
what's important
new
is the ability to be nimble and adapt and embrace that change.
and keeping up to date with, like you said, the regulations. So every time there's a new administration at the highest level, regulations
Yeah.
sometimes it might just be a word here and there in the regulation, but it could cause havoc on you as the note investor or any
Yeah.
investor for that matter. You have to understand the word, and that's why, like you said earlier, having lawyers involved that can educate you along the way and say, "Hey, look, this changed. You might have to do X to make sure that you're heading towards the green zone instead of
Yeah,
going into red."
that's true. That's so true. And that goes for any investing, Rich. The savvy investors that I know, they watch, like the example you said with the um, presidential administration, who's in power at any given time. The the investors, the savvy investors, are watching to see what changes are coming. And so the question is always, well, how can I position myself and my business to be in the best spot before the changes happen? And it's a bit of forward thinking. And it's not about, you don't complain about the changes. That doesn't do you any good. Take self responsibility and position yourself appropriately so that you'll be ready to go when changes happen and you'll be up and running. You don't skip a beat. And there'll be plenty of other people scratching their heads wondering what happened, but it won't be you.
Definitely keep that education focus going straight, and you'll be straight in your investing world. For the, I guess, for the first time alternative investment person, what's a baby step they can take to get into the world?
Yeah, great question. I love real estate. I think it's a great way to get started owning real estate. Our government prioritizes and incentivizes all of us, the citizens and taxpayers, to own and operate rental real estate, and they incentivize it through the tax code. And so it's a great way to get started. Buy rental property. Maybe if you're moving from one home to another, moving into a larger place, or whatever the circumstances, don't sell your old place. Turn it into a rental property. See if you can make that work and let that start building income. And over time, your mortgage, loan is being paid down by the tenant through the rent. And hopefully the property value is increasing if you did a good job and bought in a good location, and you generate cash flow and you have tax benefits. Those are the four ways that we benefit from owning real estate. So I always talk to people and teach about this. Explore it, see if it works for you. Everyone can get started by owning one or two rental properties and then go from there.
You know, like you said there, and having the property in the right area and maybe with a good rental company helping you out along the way. It's
Of course.
two good things to help you out. Don't just dive head into something because it says Section 8 housing because you're guaranteed that money, but those people also tend to not take care of your property when you're in there. So you need to be careful with where you invest and how you invest.
Yeah.
And I know in your bio, I was reading on earlier, you believe that a person's habits links their success. I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear.
James
He
Clear.
He laid out a lot of things to make you a successful human, successful in all aspects of life, using those habits. You say it in your bio. Tell the audience a little bit why you believe habits are a perfect example of how to make yourself successful.
Yeah, this is crucial. The habits that we have, whether they're good habits or bad habits, they reinforce our beliefs over time. And it changes your mindset. It changes the way you show up in the world and the way you respond to things. And so James Clear's book is powerful. I love his concepts about how to build good habits. And it all starts with breaking them down into small things. Set the bar low, but do it where you're consistent every day and you have a win every day, day after day after day. Eventually, you don't even think about it anymore. Whether it's getting an exercise program started or whatever it is you want to accomplish. Maybe you want to study and learn a new skill. Do that. And it really lays out a great plan. But what happens over time is the habit becomes, you get so much muscle memory with it. You don't think about it anymore and you automatically do it. And if you miss a day, you feel like something's off and you say, oh, I didn't do my thing, my activity. Okay, go do it. Right. If you want to read more, right? Let's say your goal is, I want to read more. Great. Well, what does that mean? I want to read more. Do you want to read one book a month or whatever? Well, guess what? Why not start by saying, I want to read 5 pages a day? Can you do that? Is that a goal that you can consistently achieve every single day without fail? Absolutely it is. So you sit down, you get your routine, you sit down maybe with your morning coffee or in the evening when you're relaxing and read your book, read your 5 pages a day. Over time, you're going to finish the book eventually. But what happens is when you sit down, you read the 5 pages and maybe you get sucked into the book. So you read 5 more and you don't even realize it. And you start stretching your goal a little bit and growing. This is the natural progression. But it all starts with breaking that down into a micro goal that's very achievable. And you're setting yourself up in a way you can't fail, even if you tried.
Perfect. And that's what I loved about the way he broke it down into, like I said earlier, baby steps to investing, baby steps to habits. If you read it, I read it and then I listened to it as well. I started not listening to music on the way to work. I start listening to books now so that I don't just zone into music. I listen to books and I'm actually learning as I drive instead of just having road rage and listening to music. I can listen to the book and just focus on that and maybe stay out of other people's way on the road. And hopefully I don't zone out too far and mess up.
No, that's great, Rich. Reading, listening to audiobooks. I mean, we have all of these options available to us now. There's programs and courses that you can listen to, podcasts about every topic under the sun. Find what you like, find the people that resonate with you and start listening to them. One thing I love is we all do. We have access to the top masters of every field, everything. Right. All it takes is go on YouTube and find some videos, right? You like motivational self-development, you can go find Jim Rohn to listen to, or Tony Robbins, or Dr. Wayne Dyer, whoever resonates with you. Find some content like that and start listening to that. That's so much better than turning on the news or watching Netflix or any of these other things that, frankly, it doesn't do you any good. It creates cortisol to be produced in your body and your brain. It's the stress hormone, and it's not beneficial. Not beneficial. So why not instead replace those negative habits with a positive ones, like learning and education and listening to audiobooks, listening to podcasts and courses? The results are going to be powerful.
Definitely, and you definitely hit the nail on the head that the world is a lot smaller now due to the interweb. Now the interwebs have brought the things that were not accessible for many very accessible now. They can go to a library now, sit on a computer, type in what they want to learn, and they can take a course in a day and learn everything they need to know about that course. Or like I said, sit in on a Tony Robbins speech or how the financial management speeches, or even just some motivator that just wants to get you pumped up. And then you go out in that library and go run a marathon. Anything you want to do, you can find it now. It's nothing is just cut off at the baseline of, oh, you have access in this area, so you're good. These other people don't have to worry about. Everyone has that equal way to do it now.
Yes.
And you don't have to have a passport, so you can go anywhere.
Love it.
And when you started, you've been doing this 2010, 13 years now, and there's been some ebbs and flows in those 13 years, including in 2020 when the world shut down. I'm sure that was a mind-boggling thing for investors. What's going to happen next? And 2010 was just after the real estate crash of 2008, 9-ish, and the investment. So you came in right after that as it was starting to grow again. So it was almost perfect timing to come in at the bottom level. But it was good to be in there at that time. Then you hit that wall right there in 2019-ish, end of 1920 when everything was turned off the key. What was some advice you gave to people you talked to at that time about staying the course, or hey, if you can't stay in the water, you gotta get out?
Yeah, that's was some interesting times. The big thing that that I turned to was community, building relationships with the people in our networks and joining new ones. There were so many online events, gatherings where you could get together with like-minded people that you could get to know, exchange ideas with, talk about concepts, powerful ideas, do business together. So many relationships got formed. And it was, I think, one of the best ways to turn a negative into a positive instead of sitting there saying, hey, the world's shut down, we can't do anything. Well, then the question is, well, what are you going to do about it? Right? Control what you can do.
Exactly.
Learn a new hobby. Exercise. Do something positive for yourself so you'll feel better. Maybe you will be physically better even, and you're going to grow. You're going to grow emotionally, intellectually, and from a business perspective. Think about this. How many new businesses were born during the pandemic? Businesses that became very successful and thrive to this day. It was a great time for entrepreneurs that wanted to pivot and do something they've always wanted to do, but never had the opportunity to do it.
And that's where our podcast was born in the pandemic. Wrote 2 books in the pandemic and started my PhD in the pandemic. So I've kept moving lightning speed ahead through the pandemic into now, and continuing to learn new stuff like I'm learning from you tonight, and learn from Jen Drummond the other night about climbing the 7 alternate peaks on the 7 continents and how she did that. So always learning new things. The podcast has brought me many, many experts, and I've learned so much from them, and seeing what they did during those times. It's amazing.
And all the relationships that you've built with the people that you've interacted with through your podcast. That's powerful.
It's like one large. It's like my own version of LinkedIn, I guess. It's my LinkedIn podcast.
Yeah.
So, Fred, you talked just a little bit there about maintaining financial, mental health. Why we also need to invest in our health itself in order to be
Oh,
successful.
yes.
And why do you think that is important?
You know, something I've noticed is in my industry, people that are investors, there are many successful people that worked hard, chase after money at the expense of their family, at the expense of their health. They didn't take care of themselves. And eventually, and maybe they did very well financially, but eventually the day comes where the health deteriorates to a point, starts to catch up with them. And then it's almost like it's too late.
Definitely.
And it's unfortunate. And so why get yourself into that position? Invest in your health starting today, starting right now, wherever you're at, start from there. And because what good is having money, having wealth, if you can't enjoy it because you're in poor health and maybe you don't have too many days left on this earth? That's an unfortunate position to be in. And so spend the money and the time and effort to invest in your health, in yourself. Eat well, sleep well, exercise. And like I said, wherever, you don't have to go out tomorrow and start running marathons. Start from where you're at.
Right.
Maybe you don't exercise at all. You're a sedentary person. So start out with going for a walk around the block every single day. Do it consistently, like James Clear. Maybe you don't eat well. So why not, instead of eating out at the fast food restaurant 6 days a week, why not start by cutting that down to 2 days a week and make some better choices? Start from wherever you are. And then as you grow and evolve, you can fine tune that. I love fitness. It's an important part of my life. You know, for me, I'm sitting in front of the computer all day long. I'm on the phone, I'm on the computer. And so every day, at the end of the day, I like to shut down my work and go train at the gym.
Nice.
That's my thing. And it's a great shift of environment and gets your blood flowing and you have oxygen going to your brain and it just feels really good. So you have this sense of well-being and you're improving your health at the same time, because let's face it, as entrepreneurs and business owners, we need a lot of energy to do what we do. And so for me, investing in health and wellness, that's a priority for sure.
100%. The gas that you need to get the tank going to maintain your business, maintain you, is a lot. So you might as well take care of that machine first and then take care of the bank machine. It's just my thought on that.
Yeah.
So Fred, this has been great chatting with you for the last 33 or so minutes. What are 3 tips you would give the brand new investor as they're scratching their head now listening to this show? They're saying Fred has a lot of good ideas. Man, what can I do to actually get into this? So what's 3 tips you can give them to maybe get the ball rolling and get this thing off the ground?
Yeah, definitely. Great question. 3 tips. Start out with find something that you like, that's appealing to you, and get educated on it. Buy a book, listen to some podcasts, maybe taking a course or attend an event in person. In-person events are wonderful, where it's a training seminar, you learn. And you know what's the best part of those, Rich? Is who else is going to be there? You could be in a room full of hundreds of other investors of all experience levels. And so that's powerful. The relationships that you build at a situation like that is amazing. So start with that, pursue that. Next, I would say if your situation calls for it, if it's appropriate, open a Roth IRA. Roth IRA is a powerful vehicle that has superb tax treatment, and I think it deserves a part in everyone's financial toolkit. And so even if you don't have plans for it, just open it up. Open up the Roth IRA, put in $500 and fund it and get it going. I feel that the Roth IRA is something that is often looked at as a target when the government needs money, and they immediately turn to Roth IRAs, and maybe one day they're not going to be allowed anymore. So I always say get one started before anything happens, so that no matter what, you'll be grandfathered in because you have the account open, and you can learn about how to use it, and really focus on the education. Get to meet people. If you're interested in node investing, there's lots of great books about node investing. Pick up some books. Read. It's a low cost investment for you, and it's a great way to get your feet wet and determine if it's something you want to go further with or not.
Awesome. That's great tips right there. So find something you're passionate about. You gave the advice on the Roth IRA, which is, I also believe is a secret out there. A lot of people are afraid to touch. A lot of, like you said, they hear these negative Nancy's talk about them and they don't go into them. I've had for a long time now, and I try to forget it's there. Just put my money in every month and just not look at it till the end of the year when Uncle Sam wants me to report what I have there. But that's a great thing. And then invest in the knowledge that you need to get into your passion. So 3 great tips there, Fred.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's the best way to get in contact with you, Fred? Maybe to get in your head and talk to you like we are right now, but in a one-on-one stance?
Yeah,
or maybe have you come on their show?
Yeah, thank you. I love meeting investors, speaking with other investors, learning about what they're doing, learning about goals and objectives and strategies, and talking shop about the investment space. I really enjoy that. For anyone that would like to connect with me, you can visit my website, which is fredmoskowitz.com. And if you prefer a little bit of an easier spelling, you can visit giftfromfred.com, and it will take you right to my website. And once you're there, you can request a special report I have on node investing. I'm happy to send that out free of charge to anyone that wants to request it. And I always look forward to connecting with investors and like-minded individuals and building relationships. It's a big part of what I do. Oh, and one more thing, if you like to do texting, you can also text me by texting the keyword money to the phone number 215-461-4433, and then following the prompts there. So 3 different ways to get in touch with me. And certainly check out my book. It's called The Little Green Book of Node Investing. It's available on Amazon. And if you put my name in, it'll come right up.
Awesome. Fred, thank you. Audience's website is going across the bottom now for those of you who are watching on video. But those of you who have this on their podcast apps, all this information will be in the show notes for you just to grab or click on and digest it and get in touch with Fred and pick his brain just like I have for the last just a little over a half hour. Fred, again, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us tonight, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you so much, Rich. It was a pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me on.
Have a great night.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the MisFitNation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all of our past episodes and get some of that great MisFitNation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are MisFitNation.